Hey, what's going on, everybody? Christian Ballard, Ballard Sports Media, coming at you with a video today. Another team preview. Want to get back to doing some of those and looking at a SEC team we've yet to look at in the Texas A&M Aggies, who I think could improve this season, but only a little bit. Uh, I say that, but at the same time, I think they're going to be a team that stays right where they are. I don't think the schedule gets easier down the road when you look towards this season. When you go back to last year for Texas A&M, 5-7, 2-6 in conference play. They had, you know, they beat Sam Houston to open the season. App State is a good team and can pull a lot of upsets, but that had to hurt for Texas A&M fans to lose that game right out the gate in the season. Week 2, Kyle Field, it's at home. You probably had a loud crowd there. It's an afternoon game on ESPN2, and you lose by a field goal, 17-14. You beat Miami. That's actually a pretty good win for you guys. Now Miami had their own issues as well. I mean, they were pretty much like Texas A&M and in the same boat. Year one with Mario Cristobal, but of course we kind of expect them to get better. We'll see. Then after that, they beat Arkansas. Then the losing continues. They had lost 6 straight games. Mississippi State, Alabama, Ole Miss, South Carolina, Florida, Auburn, UMass. Well, actually, let me pause right there because they lost to Auburn, then they got their last 2 wins. But when you have 6 straight losses and you already lost a game, that's going to hold you back. You're not going to go bowling. You're not going to make a bowl game. Auburn, they lose to. Florida, they lose to. Ole Miss, South Carolina, lost. But after that, they're able to turn it around and beat UMass, which you should have. But what surprised me, beating LSU 38-23 at Kyle Field. And LSU was no pushover last year. They beat Alabama. They pulled the upset, won the West. Went to go face Georgia, got blown out. 50-30? But they won their division. That's a good team to beat, is a team that wins their division. So to have that turnaround at the end of the season, it kind of makes you curious for this year. I'm not buying it. Let's go ahead. I'm going to pull this up here. You know how we do. We put the schedule on the screen. I get this from FBSschedules.com, 2023 Texas A&M Aggies. So, New Mexico at Miami, ULM, Auburn, against Arkansas, home against Alabama, at Tennessee. This could be good. Get the bye week. South Carolina, at Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Abilene Christian, probably going to win that one, and at LSU. This is not an easy schedule. It's a little bit easier than it was for Texas A&M last season, at least in my opinion. Because, again, we just looked at what they did last season. They had to go to South Carolina, had to go to Auburn. You get those teams at home this year. You did host no, actually, you host Alabama this year. You get them at home. You had to go to Bryant Denny, but you played a good game. And remember, that was Jalen Milroe's first start for the Crimson Tide with Bryce Young out due to injury. They played Miami. They play them on the road this year. That is going to be tough. But the SEC slate, Arkansas, well, that's neutral field, but it's kind of in your backyard in the state of Texas in Arlington, where the Cowboys play. You have my backpack just fell over. Anyway, Alabama, Tennessee, South Carolina, Ole Miss, Mississippi State at home. That could be good. Abilene Christian, LSU. So the trap games. Let's go ahead and get into that. Right? Take that off the screen for a second. I want to get serious. You talk about some of the trap games on here, the games that they should win, but probably could lose. Now, I did not list every single trap game. There's probably a chance I missed a couple. I think they should beat Auburn at home this season. But new head coach over on the Plains and Hugh Freeze, what's he got up his sleeve this season? I think that Robbie Ashford's a good quarterback over there. Think he could be good. He probably run a right over Texas A&M, but we'll see. The trap game is Auburn. The trap game is South Carolina at home. Again, I apologize for not putting a whole lot of games on this list. I just don't. Mississippi State, I guess, would be another one. The thing is, like, Alabama's not a trap. Tennessee's not a trap. At LSU is not a trap. Those are the possible upsets. Those are the ones where you could pull it off. And I did better with my possible upsets list. And again, I want to hear from you guys in the comments on all this. At Miami, Arkansas, Alabama, at Tennessee, at LSU. This is going to be a tough schedule for the Aggies. And I think one of the things to look at is, what they have coming back. You look at, let me see here. Damani Richardson led the defense in tackles at 73 last year as a defensive back. I know looking at their roster, they could bring back Evan Stewart, their lead receiver, with 649 yards. Devon A-Chain, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he went to the draft. I don't see him listed on the roster. But Texas A&M, I think, is going to be in an interesting position. They have some defensive backs. They still got quite a few players actually from the number one class that they signed for 2021. They got a senior in Tony Grimes, probably going to be a key player on defense. Tony Grimes, number 8 defensive back. Tyreek Chappell is a junior. Jacoby Matthews is a sophomore. Bryce Anderson's a sophomore. Javon Thomas, Sam McCall. You got some freshmen in there. Damani Richardson is a senior. He comes back. He led the team in tackles at 73. 73 tackles. Jordan Gilbert led with 2 interceptions as a defensive back. Is he on here? I want to see. Who did I just say? Let me see. Jordan Gilbert. I don't see him on here. I don't know if he left. I know he wasn't drafted. We're going to keep looking for him. Anyway, look at the offensive side. Evan Stewart is a sophomore wide receiver. Anais Smith comes back. He kind of hurt Alabama at times in 2021. Of course, the quarterback position is going to be interesting. Blake Boss, Johnny Ryder, Dallas Novick, Connor Wegman, Max Johnson. That's the quarterback competition. You got a 5-star in Wegman, who's a sophomore out of Cypress, Texas, and you have a transfer from LSU who's going to be a junior, and Max Johnson. Um, of course, Haynes King was the guy last year. Haynes King transferred out. Um, Connor Wegman actually put up more yardage behind Haynes King than Max Johnson did. Now, Max Johnson had the best completion percentage at 60%. He had 3 total touchdowns, did not throw any picks, took 10 sacks, though. Got to handle the pressure. He couldn't do it. I think it's going to be between Max Johnson and Connor Wegman. Honestly, if I'm a betting man, which I'm not, my money's on Connor Wegman this season. I like him coming out of high school. Think he's a great athlete, talented quarterback. Think he's got a bright future with the program. I would probably bet that Jimbo Fisher likes what he's seeing out of Connor Wakeman. He looked pretty good in the spring game. Um, so there's that. Don't forget, please hit the thumbs up, hit the subscribe button. Really would appreciate it. As far as their 2023 schedule goes, we talked about it just a little bit. Interesting schedule. You start out with New Mexico. You go to Miami, ULM, Auburn, Arkansas, Alabama, at Tennessee. Get a bye week. Perfect timing. South Carolina, you host at Kyle Field. At Ole Miss, Mississippi State, Abilene Christian, and at LSU. You can cross the SEC title game off your list. I don't think they're going to really be much of a threat to the West. They could probably be third or fourth. That's possible, but I mean, I think it starts with LSU. I honestly believe this, and this is coming from an Alabama fan. I would say that the West starts with LSU. I think they got the better returning production. They know what they're doing at quarterback with Jaden Daniels. A couple good receivers, talented defense. Coach Brian Kelly. Come on, man. I know they got blown out by Georgia last year, but did you see the clutch moments for LSU in games like Alabama? Um, I mean, this is a tough schedule. This is tough to call. I will say for the trap games, I'll give you Auburn and South Carolina. The possible upsets, you could get Miami. I don't think Texas A&M will be favored in that game. It's possible I'm wrong on that. That could be one of those traps where maybe A&M is favored on the road, but I think Miami and Texas A&M are kind of in the same boat of trying to figure stuff out, missing bowls and having a hard time with where they are right now as programs. Got 2 young head coaches right there, one that has a little bit more experience than another. Jimbo has more experience than Cristobal. Arkansas, Alabama, these are games. I even think Arkansas might be favored over Texas A&M. I think they could be that bad this year. Alabama's going to be favored. Tennessee on the road in Knoxville. This will be a fun game to watch. I don't see these teams go head to head that often. I'm excited to see that on October 14th. You see on your screen. I would say, yeah, you could pull that off. Again, we looked at Tennessee earlier this year, and I don't remember their exact schedule. I'd have to go and look, but I mean, it's possible Tennessee's in a position where they're hosting you, but maybe they overlook you for another team down the road. LSU, you could upset in Baton Rouge. I don't think that's going to happen because I love LSU this year. I think they got Jaden Daniels. Is he going to run the race for the Heisman? Um, you know, Talented defense. I think they still bring back like Harold Perkins. So they could be good. I don't expect A&M to win that game. I don't expect them to win many games. They went 5-7 last year. I'm gonna say they go 5-7 again. I'm gonna go ahead and give you a record prediction of 5-7, and I'll give you the losses too, like we always do. I think you do drop that Miami game early on in the season. Week two could be an undefeated matchup, an afternoon game in Florida. I I think it'll play close. You did beat them last year, 17-9, but I think Miami's coming into this season with a bit of a vengeance. Not necessarily against Tennessee, or not Tennessee. I'm sorry, Texas A&M, but a vengeance for college football. I think they want to make a bowl game. I think they want to make a good impression. What better way for Miami to do that than to pull an upset? Um, well, it won't be an upset if they're at home, I don't think. And if they're undefeated, both teams are undefeated going into that week two matchup. Um, if it's 1-0 each, Miami's going to be favored. The home team will be favored. So that being said, you got Miami, you got Auburn, Arkansas, Alabama, Tennessee, Ole Miss, LSU. Now, I don't remember what I picked in the Auburn. I remember I did not pick Alabama to lose to Texas A&M. I know I did that. And I also think that Tennessee, I said this game could be close, but at the same time, it's like you got to be careful um, for an upset or a trap game. It could be good, though. It could be good. LSU's just going to be better. Ole Miss, fast tempo offense, just going to be better. All that stuff. So, anyway, I love you guys. I'm going to get out of here. Jesus loves you. Trust and believe that. Comment your record prediction below on Texas A&M this season. I'd love to hear from you guys in the chat. And we will see you this weekend for a couple live streams. Don't forget the call-in show on Sundays, especially at around 9 o'clock Central, 10 Eastern. Please like, comment, and subscribe right here to Ballard Sports Media for more sports content. And until next time, Ballard Sports Media, check it out. I love you guys. Y'all have a good one. Peace.